Hi goddesses, welcome. You know, I started my morning with like making my tea, doing my skincare routine and everything. I was watching this video of one of these YouTubers that I've been following for the last couple of months, and she just posted a video on how leaving her apartment in New York, and she was just talking about a lot of reflection. With that being said, I realized that I haven't really done that much reflecting this year. Like I have, but I haven't really sat down with myself and reflected on this year of 2023. If you are new to my channel, hi, I am 𝚆𝚎𝚒𝚝, and this is 𝚆𝚎𝚒𝚝's Journey. What I'm going to be talking about in this video, and particularly how important reflection is, especially if you are someone that's trying to change your life, change your reality into what it is that you want and what you desire. In my journal, I started off with this year's reflection. That's what I started off writing, and I asked the question of what happened this year. If you have been following my channel for a minute now, I left Los Angeles, and the reason that I left Los Angeles was to be in this off-Broadway show, and the writer's strike happened. I feel like it canceled the show permanently. I think the writer's strike is over now, but at the end of the day, the show is probably not going to happen. So I'm just gonna start there and being honest and straightforward with you goddesses of what happened this year. So I have a playlist of my New York journey, leaving Los Angeles, heading to New York, and I didn't complete it. And from there, I'm not even gonna sit there and say that like that's what kind of like life just kind of started going left for me. Life kind of started going left when 2023 started. I'm going to be so real, so genuine, and so honest, and tell it like it is of what has happened this year of 2023. 2023 has been the weirdest of weirdest years.
You weird, buddy. You're weird.
Of my life. It really has. It's not one of the worst years, I can say. One of the worst years was when my father passed. Those years were the worst years of my life.
I am dead from the neck up.
So that's a good sign that this isn't the worst year of my life. It's kind of funny because I watched a lot of people this past year and they talk about their journey of 2023, and it's been really, really weird. Now, don't get me wrong, some people had the best years ever, but a lot of the people that I watch, like Bria Jones and the YouTuber that I'm watching right now that's in New York, she was saying that this was a weird year for her too, and she went through a breakup and stuff. But ultimately, I'm gonna start off exactly how my year started, how 2023 started. Reflection. In January of 2023, it's so weird, like it's so hard to talk about this. Literally January of 2023, I started my new year off pretty much my car getting repossessed. Luckily, my mother was able to help me with my car repossession. And not only that, my roommate that I was living with, I'm gonna say like 2 to 3 years, she was moving out with her boyfriend. And mind you, when we were living in our first apartment, she let me know that that was gonna happen. So, but I remember that conversation when we moved in with each other. She said, in 4 years, my mom is gonna move out and I'm gonna move into that house. I was like, okay. 4 years came so fucking fast. And I was looking for a roommate. I had one, she backed out. On the positive side, things were looking up. I was going to be in the off-Broadway show and it got canceled. This didn't happen, the writer's strike didn't happen until I came out here, and it was getting postponed. It kept getting postponed to the point that it got canceled. So as of now, I'm living at home. It's really been a really, really hard year. And one of the biggest things that I am telling myself is like, you have to be very present in this time, even though it may not be the best time, whether financially, mentally, whatever the case is, you have to be present and you have to reflect on this past year. I think that's one of the biggest things that I'm coming to terms and realizing is just like, what is the lesson in all of this? One of the biggest things that I realized that in my current situation, I was literally saying this to myself yesterday. If I cannot share what I'm going through with certain people and I feel like they would judge me, why would I be telling them in the first place, and why would I even be friends with them in the first place? One of my biggest things that I've come to also accept and realize is there's no reason to be embarrassed. Of course, everybody has their pride and everyone has their ego. I understand that people are going to judge me and be like, wow, like whatever, but there are people that have been in my situation. My mom has told me that we had this Jeep and she was telling me like back then it was different. Well, the car got repossessed because my dad forgot to like pay it. and they had to like file for bankruptcy, so it was like different back then. I just had to pay the $1,600, which my mom was able to help me with, so that's how I got my car back. Right now I'm gonna have to make a flight to LA because I'm going to have to sell my car, which I know is the best situation to do. And it's kind of crazy because when I was in LA, I kept thinking about that and I didn't do it. So now I'm in a situation where I have to go fly out there and figure out like where I can stay, if I can stay with a friend or if I have to get a hotel or whatever the case is. But I have to like make moves now, and I'm being very proactive. The point of me all saying this is there are people that are in a situation just like you. I just know that this part of my life and my chapter, once I'm like so out of it in the future, I'm going to understand why I had to experience what I experienced this year of 2023. One of the hardest years financially, mentally, everything that I can think of when it comes to me. And since being home, I'm going to say this has been the best experience for me to be home. I have never felt like myself in the last, I want to say 2 years like I do now. And I'm so unapologetically myself that I don't care what anyone thinks about me, because at the end of the day, I know I can be my worst enemy. One of the biggest things that I realized once losing a parent, I realized that anyone does judge me, I know they haven't really experienced life that much. So I cannot take anything that they say personally. It's all a projection. If you haven't gone through dark shit like losing a parent, it is one of the hardest, worst experience that I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy. I judge people in a different way where it's more of my intuition. If my intuition feels like, if I'm getting a download from my ancestors and guides, don't fuck with this person, that's not necessarily judging them, but in a way it is, you know what I'm saying? Because maybe something they did or said, I am judging that. But if I get a download from my intuition and my gut is telling me do not fuck with them, then yeah, I'm going to judge it upon that and go with that. There's that. Me judging someone because they're messy or whatever it could be. My thing is like, I have been down bad. Okay, I've been down bad. I've been through it. Okay, where I didn't want to be on this planet anymore. Okay, it's been that bad. So for me, I understand that there's so much immaturity and insecurity, lack of knowledge, and lack of self-awareness that people have, that you can't ever take that shit personally. If they do judge you, they're just projecting their insecurities, their ignorance, and it proves to me and shows to me that you have not been through life. And it's funny because I realize when I think back to this relationship of honestly how immature and ignorant they even were, because they themselves haven't really lost a parent. So when I think back to conversations and the things that they said to me, I realized they were so ignorant, also so immature. They were just projecting themselves onto me always. When it comes to death, whether you like know it or not, healing is on their time. There's a time limit. And I just remember during the time of my dad passing, it's like people will feel bad for you, feel sorry for you, or whatever the case is for a period of time until it's like, okay, get over it. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, I just don't take anything that any human says that serious and not that personal, unless they try and make it personal. That's a whole different story. When you have a lot of self-awareness and you've been through your fair share of life, if I wasn't divinely protected, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I have a place, I have a car, here, you know what I'm saying? My parent, my mom, my brother's here, my nephew's here, his wife is here, and I'm spending so much time with my family that I haven't in 3 years because of the pandemic. At the end of the day, all that I'm trying to say is I'm divinely protected. And when you go through hardship in your life, because I lived in Los Angeles for 6 years, I was hustling and bustling for 6 years, and I made everything. I pulled shit out of thin air, and I lost touch with myself, where I felt like I couldn't manifest anymore. I felt like I couldn't pull things out of thin air anymore. And that's not the truth. It is so important to go back to your roots, to be yourself again. With that all being said, I hope you goddesses got something from this video. I hope it helped you. And I really send you a whole bunch of love if you are going through something of this year, if you've had a similar experience and you can relate to my journey and all that and more. I send you so much love and also so much gratitude if you have watched up to this part of the video. Send you the best 2024, and I really do hope you goddesses start doing reflection now instead of waiting into the new year's. Time is now. Do not wait. Do the work and work on yourself and reflect, okay? And give yourself so much grace and peace and love. Until next time, goddesses, I love you and I'll see you very soon.
Just do it! So just do it! Just do it!
All up in my feels, in all kind of ways. I be trying to play, but lately I just wanna keep it real, real.